Tom Brady is speaking out for the first time since the divorce announcement. Take a listen.
Tommy, there's an awful lot going on in your life away from the football field. You're a very public figure, and your personal life spills over, and it's created, I'm sure, a number of challenges for you this season.
Yeah, Jim. I think there's a lot of professionals in life that go through things that they deal with at work and they deal with at home. And obviously the good news is it's a very amicable situation, and I'm really focused on two things, and taking care of my family and certainly my children, and secondly, doing the best job I can to win football games. So that's what professionals do. You focus at work when it's time to work, and then when you come home, you focus on the priorities that are at home, and all you can do is the best you could do. And that's what I'll just continue to do as long as I'm working and as long as I'm being a dad.
Tom Brady recently addressed his divorce on his own terms on his podcast. We're talking about a man that doesn't really like dealing with the media, specifically the negative press. Like over the years, hearing people question and doubt him, and then the media had a field day when he left the Patriots after 20 seasons, and he was able to quiet them down for a moment when he went to Tampa and won the Super Bowl there. But now he's not doing so well, and of course, the media, they're there to document it, highlighting records like he's the most stacked quarterback of all time, or it's his first 3-game losing streak in 20 years. The Buccaneers now 3-5 after recently losing to the Ravens. Brady went 302 consecutive starts without a 3-game losing streak, almost doubling the previous record of 155 by Joe Montana. His last 3-game losing streak was in 2002 when Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson was just 5 years old. Lamar Jackson celebrated the win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if all that isn't enough, a couple of days later the news hit. The news about his divorce from his wife, former supermodel Gisele, after 13 years of marriage. Legal documents declaring the marriage dissolved, citing that it's irretrievably broken. Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates.
Is there a challenge compartmentalizing between the two?
Well, I think that's what being a professional is. So I've dealt with a lot of challenging situations on and off the field over 23 years, and a lot of it does play out, in front of a lot of people. So, I think the interesting thing for, football player, and athlete in general is, you're out there. I always say we're not actors, even though we're on TV, that is our real self out there. We're trying to do our best. That's how people really have gotten to know me over the years, by being on TV. And that is an authentic self that's out there to compete with my teammates every day. And you're giving all you can to the team. And, everyone's going through different things. We all have our unique challenges in life, and we're all humans, and we do the best we could do. And I have incredible parents that have always taught me the right way to do things. I want to be a great father to my children, and always try to do things the right way as well. And to deal with things that in your life that have challenges, you want to deal with in the best possible way. So I want to always be able to hold my head high on and off the field, and I'm going to try to continue to do that for as long as I'm here.
The paperwork for the divorce was filed by Gisele and finalized on October 28th in Glades County, Florida. Brady and Gisele entered into a marital settlement agreement 3 days earlier. However, the details of their settlement agreement and custody details will not be publicly filed with the court to protect their privacy. With the settlement agreement, neither one of them had to submit financial documents to the court. So you have many publications reporting that Gisele wanted a divorce. Word is Gisele gave Tom an ultimatum. Either he stopped playing football or she was going to leave him. And it looks like Tom was basically like, leave. A lot of women using emotion to justify somehow that Gisele was right and only concerned for her husband. But how can you be so concerned for your husband and you left him in the middle of the football season, which some believe impacted his performance on the field? Gisele was a model before Tom Brady and hadn't had any serious relationships. She was on and off with actor Leonardo DiCaprio for years. And if you know anything about Leonardo DiCaprio, you would know that he keeps a flock of women. He doesn't take any of them too seriously, so she would have never been his wife. But she was happy with being a part of his lineup until she was able to attract a guy that would put a ring on it. That guy was Tom. You can argue that Tom saved Gisele from the streets. He saved her from being Leonardo DiCaprio's alley cat, because just like Diddy, They don't want to be married. And that's because they know if they ever marry these women, those same women pressuring them to make them wives will eventually file for divorce, just like Gisele did. So they opt out, they stay single and engage with the women they want to engage with without having to worry about breaking up. And when those women decide to leave, they can leave. And then you have the media. They keep trying to hype Gisele up as if she's making so much money on her own. Like, cut out the nonsense. Yes, Victoria's Secret, they paid her very well. At the time, she had one of the biggest contracts, but that was 15, 20 years ago. A decade and a half later and 2 kids, Gisele isn't the same Victoria's Secret's Gisele. And that's fine. It's just natural progression in life. She's been replaced by younger models. But we can't pretend like her endorsement deals and everything else that she's been able to do for the last decade had nothing to do with the fact that she was Tom Brady's wife, when it had everything to do with it. It's Tom's accomplishments that afforded her the opportunity to slow down on modeling and focus on her kids while also still being able to benefit from deals. I think that Gisele is out of order for telling Tom to quit. If he would have allowed her to dictate his retirement schedule, then they would have still ended up in divorce. Struggling for power in a marriage, it never really works. Everyone has to know their role. After all of these years dominating in his sport, why would he allow a woman to dominate him at home? And then the reason makes no sense. The media justifying it by saying that she wanted to spend more time with him. So you wanted to spend more time with him, and the way to do that was to file for divorce, and now you have no time with him? Tom Brady is 45 years old. He's expected to retire soon within the next year or 2. Gisele wanted to have a successful, famous husband and then turned around and divorced him over what made him successful and rich in the first place. When she first met Tom, he was on his purpose, which was to become enormously successful. He's done that. And after he's done playing football, he has a large TV contract waiting on him as well as a commentator. I think Gisele went the wrong way with this, trying to dictate his legacy when he's the man and he's the one that's responsible for making that decision for himself. Whether or not last season will be his last season, this season or next season, he has to be the one to end it, not a woman. And I say that because, as you can see, even when they get a man that's 1 out of a million, it's still not enough. Modern women are never happy when they get what they ask for. It's always going to be a problem. If Brady would have retired when she wanted him to, then he was going to be at home every single day. And then she would have had a problem with that too. When your whole relationship, you're used to him being on the road half the year, and then all of a sudden he's at home every night. Yeah, there would have still been an issue. That's why a lot of the time when these athletes retire, these women start packing bags and lining up the kids by the door to go with them. They never really wanted to be wives in the first place. They just wanted to have access to a high-value man, leverage his name and connections for whatever she can get for herself, and leave. And the timing is crazy. Why this didn't happen during the off-season? Let's go ahead and get the conversation started below in the comments. I definitely want to hear what you think about all of this. Special thank you to our sister Tanette. I appreciate you, Nettie, for your support, as well as Anthony. Thank you, Anthony, for supporting the channel. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.